What if the most brilliant doctor you'll ever meet has been living inside you all along, quiet, attentive, and ready to respond the moment you speak with clarity? Imagine a wise inner physician that hears your thoughts like precise instructions. A mind-body connection so immediate that your words become medicine and your attention becomes a healing touch. Has this ever happened to you where a single belief either tightened your chest or set your whole body at ease? What you're about to discover might surprise you. Your body isn't your enemy. It's your most loyal ally, a living system waiting for guidance, listening for a confident voice to say, restore, harmonize, begin again. We're not here to chase another external remedy. We're here to awaken the healer inside. Today, we'll explore how intention, language, and faith can become practical tools, simple, repeatable signals that your cells can follow. Think of it as self-healing by design, where the subconscious mind responds to your conviction the way a devoted student follows a trusted teacher. When you speak with love and certainty, you send measurable cues that calm the nervous system, balance your internal chemistry, and invite cellular regeneration. Stay with me until the end, because we're going to map a direct line between the words you choose and the harmony your whole being starts to feel. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Let's set the scene. Inside you is a quiet laboratory, organs listening, tissues remembering, breath translating thought into rhythm. The moment you whisper, I am safe, your pulse takes note. The moment you affirm, life flows through me, your digestion listens. This isn't about forcing positivity or pretending symptoms aren't real. It's about learning a precise language of healing words, a way of speaking to your body that replaces confusion with order and fatigue with renewal. If the inner dialogue has been crowded with doubt or habit, we'll refine it. If your attention has been scattered, we'll aim it like a beam of light, because where attention goes, restoration follows. Consider how often we accidentally instruct our biology. This stresses me out. I'm exhausted. I can't handle this. The subconscious doesn't parse sarcasm or nuance. It hears commands. Now imagine flipping that script, speaking to your inner physician with calm authority, turning intention into instruction. Breathe deeper. Release. Return to balance. Has this ever happened to you, where a single calm phrase changed the course of your day? That's the doorway we're opening, self-healing, through focused attention, healing affirmations that actually feel true, and a respectful partnership with the wisdom already built into your design. As we move forward, you'll notice certain keywords surfacing naturally. Inner physician, awaken. The healer inside, speak to your body. Subconscious reprogramming, cellular harmony, mind-body coherence. They aren't buzzwords. They're markers of a method, anchors that help your system recognize the path back to equilibrium. We'll treat your thoughts like carefully chosen notes in a song your cells already know how to dance to. And if you've ever wondered why some phrases feel like medicine while others fall flat, we'll unpack that, how belief, emotion, and repetition turn language into a living signal your body trusts. Stay with me until the end, because we're going to practice this in real time. How to speak with conviction. How to plant a phrase that your nervous system will obey. How to replace the noise of fear with the clarity of guidance. What you're about to discover might surprise you, not because it's complicated, but because it's profoundly simple. Right now, your inner physician is listening, ready to receive the next instruction. All we have to do is choose the words that open the door, and in the next part, we'll step through it together. So, before we go any further, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Here, every video is crafted to bring you insights that can truly shift your perspective and add real value to your life. By subscribing, you won't just be watching, you'll be part of a journey of discovery and transformation. Every complaint, every whispered fear, every hidden belief has been shaping your body's behavior, often without you even noticing. The body is obedient. It doesn't argue. It simply follows the orders it has been given for years. When you constantly tell yourself, I can't handle this, your muscles contract, as if preparing for a burden. When you insist, "I'm always tired," your cells obey by slowing their renewal. Yet the moment those inner commands are shifted, the response changes as well. Pain gives way to ease, rigidity gives way to flexibility, and the body begins to follow a new script. This is not imagination. It's the hidden truth behind how your thoughts have been training your biology in silence. Think for a moment about the way a gardener plants seeds. The soil doesn't decide what grows. It simply nurtures whatever has been placed in it. Your organs and tissues behave the same way. Every phrase you repeat, whether negative or affirming, is like a luminous seed planted in the subconscious. Over time, those seeds bloom into patterns, habits of tension, resilience, or recovery. Transformation begins the moment you become intentional with what you plant. When words of harmony replace words of complaint, the harvest is no longer stress but restoration. Has this ever happened to you, where a single encouraging thought changed the course of your entire day? That shift is the proof of how quickly your system listens. At the core of this process lies a profound law. What the conscious mind accepts with genuine feeling, the subconscious executes with unshakable precision. This is the hidden engine of all. True healing, a mechanism where repetition and belief merge to reprogram your inner chemistry. Imagine rhythm settling into your heartbeat, balance restoring in your breathing, and repair activating in your tissues, all because a consistent message was delivered with conviction. Behind the scenes of your daily experiences, the subconscious translates these codes into biology, into hormones, into energy. The body is not passive. It is responsive, ready to align itself with the inner story you are, authoring every moment. This is why decisions about what you think and say carry such impact. They aren't empty words floating into the air. They're commands written into the very script of your nervous system. When you realize that, you stop speaking carelessly. You start to see your language as part of your personal medicine, your mindset as a prescription more powerful than any you could hold in your hand. The journey from dis-ease to harmony is not a miracle outside of you. It is a re-education happening within. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, exploring how precise communication with your body becomes a tool of transformation, revealing the hidden truth of how every cell listens when you speak. If this resonates with you, write in the comments, "This makes sense to me." By doing so, you're not only affirming the idea, you're reinforcing your own decision to shift the orders you've been giving your body, turning language into a source of healing. Think of your body as a vast classroom where every organ, every muscle, every nerve is a student waiting for direction. The mind steps into this space as the only teacher, and whatever it repeats becomes the curriculum. Fear becomes the lesson plan that contracts tissue, tightens breath, and makes the heart race. Assurance, on the other hand, becomes a gentle instruction that allows the body to loosen, flow, and restore its natural rhythm. It's a hidden truth many overlook. Your body is not just reacting randomly. It is following the lessons you've been teaching it for years without realizing it. Behind the scenes, each repeated thought is chalk on the board of your subconscious, shaping not only your emotions, but your biology. Consider how a single decision to shift language can begin a remarkable transformation. Take the story of Leo Bennett, a mid-career technician whose back had become stiff and unyielding after years of physical strain. Surgery was suggested, yet he chose another path. Night, with calm persistence, he placed his hand on his lower back and whispered, "Spine, be flexible, release." Night after night, for 40 evenings, he turned those words into a nightly ritual, and slowly the body listened. The tissue began to re-educate itself, as if the spine understood the new instructions. This wasn't magic. It was discipline, mindset, and the consistent planting of a seed until the harvest of relief arrived. The subconscious doesn't analyze whether your words are metaphor or literal. It doesn't debate or argue. It obeys. When someone constantly mutters, "I'm sick of this," the stomach responds with tension and acidity, as if it had been ordered into distress. When another person says with conviction, "Life flows through me," the digestive system, the pulse, even the breath align with that flow. This is the revelation hidden in plain sight. The body doesn't know irony. It only knows commands. The impact of your internal dialogue is far greater than most. Imagine it is the behind-the-scenes director orchestrating the chemistry of your blood, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the balance of your hormones. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because once you understand that your body is not a passive machine, but a responsive student, the way you speak to yourself begins to change. Every phrase, every inner conversation is either building a new foundation of health or reinforcing an old structure of limitation. This journey of self-awareness isn't about pretending symptoms don't exist. It's about uncovering the hidden truth that the words you repeat are shaping the very reality of your cells. And when you shift those words with intention, you don't just change your thoughts, you change your body's memory of itself. If this perspective resonates with you, put down in the comments, "I'm also on this path." By writing it, you're not only affirming your own journey, but anchoring the decision to guide your body with new lessons, ones that can reshape the way it listens and responds. Across time, different traditions have hinted at the same hidden truth. Words are not just sounds, they are carriers of power. They work like medicine, not because of superstition, but because the body receives them as concrete instructions. Behind the scenes, every syllable you allow into your inner dialogue is translated into a physiological response, shaping the chemistry of your blood, the rhythm of your heart, and the resilience of your organs. This is why attending to your words is far more than a matter of optimism. It is a matter of health. The flesh is always listening, and the lessons you deliver become the laws it follows. But the secret is not in repeating phrases mechanically, as if empty mantras could change anything on their own. The body is too wise to be fooled by hollow words. It reacts to sincerity, to conviction, to the emotion carried within the phrase. Intention plus feeling is the water that nourishes the seed of language. Think of it as planting a garden. Scattering dry words into the air is like throwing seeds onto stone. Nothing grows. But when you repeat a phrase with belief, when you infuse it with emotion and allow yourself to feel its truth, you are placing that seed into fertile ground, watering it until it blossoms into transformation. The impact of this process is not abstracted, is chemical, measurable, and immediate. Tender phrases soothe the nervous system, easing the heartbeat into coherence and releasing hormones of calm and balance. Hostile words, on the other hand, trigger the release of cortisol, inflame tissues, and disrupt the very flow that sustains vitality. It is almost like standing at a crossroads each day, choosing whether your own speech will be the antidote or the toxin coursing through your veins. That choice, repeated over hours and days, is what creates either resilience or exhaustion, clarity or confusion, health or imbalance. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because once you recognize the biochemical reality of language, you begin to see your daily conversation in a new light. It's no longer about phrases thrown carelessly into the air, but about decisions moments where you choose between reinforcing chaos or cultivating harmony. This mindset shift reveals something extraordinary. You are not only living inside your body, you are shaping it with every word, sculpting its responses like an artist who knows that every brushstroke leaves a trace. That is the real revelation behind conscious speech. Your biology is not only reactive, it is creative, and it collaborates with the stories you tell. If this perspective resonates with you, write in the comments, "Words shape my reality." By doing so, you're not only engaging with this idea, but affirming to yourself that your voice has impact and that your own language is already part of your healing journey. When you look closely at stories like these, it becomes clear that the body is not random in its reactions. It is precise, almost mathematical, in the way it mirrors the words and images we feed it. Take the journey of Nico Vale, whose digestive system was caught in a constant storm. His language was heavy with rejection. Words like, "I can't digest this life," becoming daily orders, his subconscious translated into acidity and pain. But when he shifted the narrative, placing both hands on his abdomen and softly affirming peace, assimilation, and flow, his body began to obey the new directive. Within weeks, digestion found a calmer rhythm, proving that the gut listens not only to food, but to the stories carried behind each meal. This is the hidden truth so many overlook. Where your attention goes, energy follows. It's not mystical, it's functional. Blood, oxygen, and repair are drawn toward the places you focus on, like a spotlight illuminating a stage. When words and focus converge, they become a steering wheel for the autonomic functions, those silent processes that keep you alive without conscious effort. Breathing, circulation, cellular repair, all of these can be subtly guided by the quality of your inner dialogue. It's like discovering that you have always had access to the backstage controls of your own biology, but only now learning how to use them. Think about the transformation experienced by Alyssa Moore. For years, she described herself as a time bomb, living under the shadow of migraines that dictate her life. The body, ever obedient, followed that grim script, tightening vessels and preparing for collapse. But once she began replacing those destructive cues with the phrase, "I am an open field at peace," everything shifted. At first slowly, then steadily, her nervous system relearned safety. The headaches, once constant, became faint echoes until eventually they ceased altogether. Behind the scenes, her biology had been retrained by words that invited expansion instead of contraction. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because these examples reveal more than just isolated cases. They expose a pattern, a revelation about how decisions in language become decisions in physiology. When you repeat words of tension, the body lives in a climate of alarm. When you repeat words of harmony, the body learns to breathe in rhythm with them. It's a mindset shift that carries profound impact, showing that health isn't only about external conditions, but also about the subtle instructions we choose to issue every single day. You are, in many ways, the author of your own internal script, and your cells are the actors faithfully performing it without question. If this understanding resonates with you, write in the comments, "I'm rewriting my script." By doing so, you declare not just agreement with these ideas, but your own decision to step into the role of director, guiding the body with words that lead it toward balance, clarity, and renewal. Night is more than the end of a day. It is the silent threshold where the conscious mind loosens its grip and the subconscious steps forward, ready to absorb every instruction it receives. This is the golden doorway, a behind-the-scenes moment where thought transforms into blueprint. What you whisper before sleep does not vanish into the dark. It settles into the deepest layers of your being, programming the way your body will function while you rest. Fearful words weave patterns of chaos, restless dreams, and fragmented repair, while affirmations of peace and renewal build the foundation for restoration that continues long after your eyes are closed. The story of Mara Lewis makes this impact visible. Her life was governed by irregular shifts, sleepless nights, and chronic fatigue. By all external measures, exhaustion should have been her constant reality. Yet when she committed to a simple 3-minute practice each night, everything began to shift. She repeated phrases of light, strength, and rest, speaking them softly as if reminding her cells of a forgotten truth. Within weeks, her body responded, vitality returned, and energy reappeared, not because her circumstances changed, but because the inner program guiding her physiology had been rewritten. The hidden truth here is undeniable. The subconscious never sleeps, and it continues the work you assign it when the conscious mind drifts away. This is why nighttime language must be chosen with precision. The subconscious does not recognize negation. Saying, "Don't hurt," still highlights hurt. Whispering, "I don't want illness," still delivers illness as the central command. Instead, present and affirmative words act like clear, executable code phrases such as, "I rest," "Every part of me is at peace," or "My body renews effortlessly," are understood as direct instructions that activate processes of repair. It is a decision, a mindset shift that acknowledges how much power lies in the last words you give yourself before surrendering to sleep. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because the moment before sleep is not just about health, it is about transformation. It is the place where emotions, memories, and expectations merge into the language your subconscious translates into chemistry, into rhythm, into the hidden architecture of your night. The impact is profound. Your dreams, your immune system, even your morning mood are sculpted by those final sentences. Behind the scenes, this is where healing or harm begins. And the decision rests in what you choose to declare in those fragile minutes when consciousness gives way to silence. If this resonates with you, write in the comments, "I choose peace at night." By doing so, you not only affirm this truth to yourself, but also anchor a new nightly ritual, one that turns your last words into the seeds of renewal your body has been waiting to receive. Grief has a way of silencing the body, pulling it into a shadow where appetite fades, immunity weakens, and rhythm collapses. Yet even in that silence, language can become a bridge back to life. A widower at 55 discovered this when he chose to replace the despairing question, "Why go on?" with the phrase, "I continue in light and heal each night." At first, it was obedience without emotion words, spoken like steps taken in the dark. But slowly, the body responded. Appetite returned, immunity steadied, and the simple act of affirming life began to shape a new internal climate. This is the hidden truth of transformation. Sometimes belief does not arrive first, but the discipline of repeating the phrase creates the space where belief can grow. The heart, perhaps more than any other organ, reveals this dialogue between thought and biology. It is not only a pump of blood, but a receiver, sensitive to the tone of the mind. Fear scrambles its rhythm, scattering beats into irregular patterns, while gratitude brings synchronization, aligning heartbeat and breath in a natural harmony. This is why speaking to the heart as if it were a trusted friend is not just poetic, it is practical. The nervous system listens and adjusts, and the body learns a calmer beat. Behind the scenes, coherence forms, a state where energy is conserved, repair is optimized, and clarity of thought emerges almost effortlessly. Consider the journey of Harold Quinn, who at 61 faced mounting pressure, both in life and in his blood vessels. Instead of surrendering to the spiral of fear, he created a nightly ritual. Placing his hand gently over his chest, he whispered, "My heart beats in peace," while visualizing a steady metronome glowing in soft light. Night after night, this rhythm practice carved a new pathway in his physiology. Under supervision, his reliance on medication lessened as his heart adopted the calmer instructions. The revelation here is that biology follows story, and when the story changes, the body adapts. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because what is unfolding here is not only about individual organs, but about the journey of trust, the decision to treat your body as a conscious partner rather than a machine. This shift in mindset carries immense impact. It dissolves the hidden war so many wage against themselves and replaces it with cooperation. The heart, the lungs, the skin, the very cells that sustain you are not enemies to be battled, but allies to be guided. And when you begin to speak with that recognition, you open a doorway to revelations that transform not only health, but also the way you inhabit your own life. If this truth touches you, write in the comments, "My heart listens." By putting it into words, you anchor the understanding that your inner dialogue is already shaping your rhythm, and that your heart is waiting for the language of peace to guide it forward. When you begin to notice rhythm with love instead of fear, something remarkable happens. The body starts to organize itself around that steady pulse. Just 5 quiet minutes of inner listening, without force or judgment, can retune the heartbeat, smooth the breath, and soften the mood. It's almost as if your entire system had been waiting for a conductor to raise the baton, to remind each part of its place in the orchestra. These small, consistent cues have an impact far greater than their simplicity suggests, and the pattern of stress gradually yields to the pattern of coherence. Breath becomes the most intimate channel in this dialogue. Every inhale and exhale is a messenger, carrying the tone of your inner words to the rest of the body. When the language of the mind is anxious, the breath shrinks, becomes shallow, hesitant, as though preparing for a threat that never arrives. But when the language shifts to safety and trust, the chest remembers to open, the diaphragm deepens its movement, and the body relearns how to draw in life fully. This hidden truth is often overlooked. You are not just breathing air, you are breathing meaning. What you tell yourself while you breathe decides whether each cycle contracts or expands your experience of being alive. The journey of Tessa Ng illustrates this perfectly. For years, air itself felt like danger to her, each breath wrapped in the fear of suffocation. Panic attacks haunted her steps, and even walking became a burden. But she chose to pair her breath with new words. Inhale, life enters. Exhale, I am safe. At first, the words felt mechanical, but she stayed with them, repeating the pattern each day. Weeks later, her body began to rewrite its script. The panic dissolved into steadier ventilation, her chest no longer trapped in defense, and her walks turned into moments of unexpected freedom. This was not just relief, it was transformation, the rewriting of a fundamental code that had once kept her captive. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because breath is not merely mechanical exchange. It is the most accessible bridge between thought and physiology. Each decision to pair air with safety, to inhale with trust, becomes a revelation behind the scenes of healing. The impact is not limited to the lungs. It ripples through circulation, immune balance, and even emotional resilience. Breath carries the hidden truth that your biology listens in real time, adjusting to the messages you attach to each inhale and exhale. It is a journey into remembering that you are not powerless in the face of panic, tension, or fatigue. You are, with every breath, shaping the climate of your inner world. If this resonates with you, write in the comments, "Breath is my anchor." By putting those words down, you declare not only recognition of this truth, but also your personal decision to treat each breath as a step on the path toward balance, trust, and renewal. When you anchor breath to present tense affirmations, you are giving the nervous system a rhythm it understands, a pattern that speaks directly to its deepest instincts. Each inhale becomes an invitation, each exhale a release, and over time, this repetition turns into a recognizable signal of safety. Inhale health, exhale fear may seem like a simple phrase, but simplicity is its strength. It doesn't overwhelm the mind with complexity, it guides it into clarity. And clarity is what the body longs for in moments of tension. The decision to repeat this ritual morning and night is less about words and more about consistency, about teaching your biology that peace is not occasional, but available on command. The imagination adds another layer to this journey. Visualizing the lungs as radiant spheres of light allows you to transform air into a tangible medicine. Gold flows in with each breath, filling the body with warmth and vitality, while gray releases with every exhale, carrying away the weight of fear, fatigue, or doubt. This is not fantasy, it is mindset in action, a deliberate choice to associate air with renewal instead of survival. Gratitude magnifies the process, turning each cycle of respiration into a moment of silent celebration. And what seems small, a breath, a thought, a color, becomes a revelation behind the scenes, gradually rewriting the memory your body holds about what breathing means. The spine, too, listens to this inner dialogue. It is your golden column, the central pillar that reflects how you carry yourself through life. Posture is not only structural, it is psychological. The subconscious takes every metaphor literally. Tell yourself, "I'm breaking under pressure," and the body responds with spasm, contraction, rigidity. Replace it with "I am upheld," and you issue new instructions: alignment, mobility, and resilience. This is the hidden truth that many miss. The way you describe yourself is the way your body molds itself. Behind the scenes of everyday life, your language sculpts your posture, and your posture reinforces your mindset in a continuous loop. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because when breath and spine come together in harmony, they create more than physical comfort. They create a foundation for transformation. The rhythm of inhaling light and exhaling fear, combined with the steady affirmation of being upheld, becomes a ritual that affects not only health, but also presence, confidence, and the energy you project into the world. The impact extends beyond the body into every decision you make, every journey you embark on, every revelation you allow yourself to accept about your own power to change. If this understanding resonates with you, write in the comments, "I am upheld." By doing so, you declare more than agreement. You affirm to yourself that your body listens, your spine responds, and your inner script is already shifting towards strength and alignment. Owen Carr's story reveals how powerful an internal blueprint can be. Each dawn he imagined his spine as a radiant column, each vertebra like a luminous brick stacked with precision and strength. With this image, he spoke softly, "My spine is strong and free," and the body responded. Pain, once a constant companion, began to ease. His posture lifted, not through force, but through alignment with the vision he carried inside. This was not simply a change in his back. It was a transformation in the way his body interpreted identity and support. Behind the scenes, every repetition was chiseling a new architecture in his nervous system. For Rita Doyle, the shift came in a different form. As a caregiver, she carried everyone's pain as if it were her own. Her language reflected this hidden contract. "It's my job to hold it all." The body, obeying loyally, tightened in defense, locking her shoulders and hardening her muscles. But when she began to declare, "I release burdens not mine," something remarkable unfolded. Each night, as she repeated those words, her frame softened, her breath deepened, and the weight she had unknowingly signed up for began to dissolve. This was not weakness. It was wisdom. It was the decision to stop negotiating with suffering that never belonged to her. The impact of this new script was liberation, a reminder that sometimes healing is not about adding strength, but about releasing what was never yours to carry. And then there is the skin, that visible mirror of our inner dialogue. It is more than a surface. It is a screen projecting the film we run within. Identity, visibility, safety, all of these are written across it. Harsh inner narratives inflame and irritate, while kinder ones clear and calm. The hidden truth is that your skin listens to your story about who you are. If you tell yourself you are unsafe, unseen, or unworthy, the skin reacts with agitation. But when you speak with gentleness, affirming your place in the world and your right to be visible, the skin mirrors that assurance with a glow that no cosmetic can imitate. It is one of the clearest revelations of how inner talk becomes outer reality. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because what we see here is not just physical change, it is the unfolding of a larger journey. Each person who shifts their script is stepping into a new mindset, making decisions that alter the course of their health and their presence in the world. The body becomes a canvas where transformation is painted in real time, a living proof that the dialogue we nurture behind the scenes has the power to reframe not only posture and breath, but also the very way we inhabit our own skin. If this truth resonates with you, write in the comments, "I release what is not mine." By doing so, you affirm your choice to free the body from unnecessary weight, allowing it to reflect clarity, safety, and the strength of living in alignment with your own story. Jade Moreau's story shows how even something as visible and stubborn as psoriasis can shift when the narrative behind it is rewritten. For years, she stood before the mirror seeing only a reflection of discomfort, shame, and struggle. But when she chose a new dialogue whispering, "This skin is my sacred garment," while picturing a white fabric draped lightly around her body, her inner script changed. The stress loop that had fueled her flare-ups began to release, and little by little the surface mirrored the calm she was cultivating within. This was not the sudden erasure of symptoms, but the quiet revelation that the body listens closely when words and imagery align. Simple practices like speaking during everyday rituals reinforced this transformation. While washing, Jade began affirming, "I am clean inside. This skin renews." The words were not shouted, nor forced, but spoken gently, steadily, as if planting a seed each day in fertile soil. The subconscious, always attentive, needs continuity more than intensity. Consistency tells it, this program is real and it is safe to follow. Over time, that steady repetition became the foundation of a new pattern, one that soothed inflammation and restored not just her skin, but also her sense of identity and safety in her own body. Blood itself reveals another hidden truth. It is more than a carrier of oxygen and nutrients. It carries mood, memory, and meaning. The river within reflects the thoughts you nurture. When your mindset is rigid, the flow constricts, echoing the tension of narrow thinking. When your decisions lean toward openness and flexibility, circulation responds by widening, allowing vitality to move freely through your tissues. It is as if the bloodstream follows the path of the story you tell about yourself, mirroring either contraction or expansion. Behind the scenes, biology is obedient, shaping its currents according to the words and emotions you repeatedly authorize. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because recognizing blood as more than a biological function opens a doorway to profound transformation. It becomes a symbol of inner freedom, a river that can either stagnate under the weight of fear or flow powerfully when guided by affirmations of trust and movement. The impact of this shift is not abstract. It influences energy, resilience, and even how the body recovers from strain. Each phrase you choose is like a map handed to this inner river, telling it whether to crash against walls or glide smoothly toward renewal. And this journey of directing your inner flow is not about forcing change, but about uncovering the revelations already written in the way your body listens. If this perspective resonates with you, write in the comments, "My inner river flows free." By putting it into words, you strengthen the decision to let your body mirror expansion rather than contraction, allowing circulation, mood, and meaning to move in harmony with the story you choose to live. Paula Finch discovered that the way she spoke about her life had been scripting the very flow within her veins. For years she repeated to herself, "I'm stuck," and her body obliged, slowing her energy, weighing down her steps, mirroring stagnation in every pulse. But when she chose new words, "My life and blood move freely," a shift began. She walked with the vision of red rivers of light coursing through her body, and slowly vitality returned. It was not only her circulation that improved, but her sense of movement and life itself. The hidden truth behind this transformation is that the body listens to metaphors as if they were literal commands, and when the metaphor changes, so is the physiology. Eli Romero's journey highlights another dimension of this dialogue. His days were ruled by control, each moment clenched in anticipation of what might go wrong. That tension, unspoken yet constant, translated into elevated pressure, his vessels tightening as if preparing for battle. The language of control became the language of constriction. But when he began affirming, "Nothing threatens me. Order flows through me," the body responded in kind. The network of vessels relaxed, his system recalibrated, and a newfound ease settled into his rhythm. What he uncovered was a revelation hidden behind the scenes. Trust is not only an emotion, it is a biological signal that teaches the body how to rest. And then there are the glands, those tireless translators of your inner climate. Thyroid, adrenals, pancreas, they are not isolated mechanisms, but broadcasters faithfully amplifying the emotional weather you live in. When storms of fear or anger dominate, they overwork, pumping out hormones that keep you in survival mode. When calm and assurance return, they balance, harmonizing output in quiet support of your health. This is where mindset becomes chemistry, where the decisions you make in thought and emotion echo directly into metabolism, immunity, and resilience. It is almost like discovering the behind-the-scenes operators of your own inner stage, always listening, always adjusting, always reflecting the story you have chosen to tell. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because recognizing glands as translators changes the way you see stress, exhaustion, and even recovery. They are not betraying you. They are obeying the messages you sustain. Transformation begins when you realize you can alter that climate with language, imagery, and attention, turning storms into balance and chaos into order. The impact is profound, not only in health, but in the way you walk through your journey, no longer at the mercy of hidden currents, but aware of the revelations guiding your inner weather. If this perspective resonates with you, write in the comments, "I create calm within." By doing so, you acknowledge that your emotional climate is not fixed, but shaped by choice, and that your body is ready to follow the language of peace you decide to maintain. Noel Park's experience shines a light on how profoundly the thyroid, that quiet regulator of energy, listens to the stories we tell ourselves. For years, her unspoken phrase was, "Don't take up space," and her body mirrored that command, dampening its own output as though dimming the lights in a room. But when she began placing her hand gently at her throat, envisioning a cool blue light radiating from within and affirming, "My voice is valid. Energy is wise here," something shifted. The inner decree changed, and gradually her body followed. Metrics improved, vitality rose, and with them came a deeper revelation. Biology is not indifferent. It is responsive, waiting for permission to express what has been silenced. The same hidden truth unfolded. For Marcus Holley, whose adrenals had lived in constant war mode, hypervigilance had become his default state, as if his glands were soldiers on a battlefield that never quieted. The cost was crushing fatigue, a body locked in emergency, even in times of peace. But with deliberate practice, Marcus chose new language, repeating, "I am safe. My glands rest," 3 times a day. At first it felt like wishful thinking, but repetition turned it into instruction, and instruction became a new reality. Slowly, the adrenals stood down. The body remembered how to conserve instead of fight, and with that came energy he thought he had lost forever. Behind the scenes, this was not a miracle. It was the natural outcome of giving clear, trustworthy orders to a system designed to listen. And what about pain? That signal so often misunderstood. Pain is not the enemy, but a messenger, a form of communication asking for attention. Yet here too, language and imagery hold power. By offering calm, authoritative commands, you can lower the volume of pain without denying its presence. Visualization recruits endorphins, parasympathetic pathways engage, and the body interprets the message as permission to ease. This does not mean ignoring the signal, but rather modulating it, reshaping the intensity with a dialogue that says, "I hear you, and I guide you." The revelation hidden in this process is that authority over sensation is not solely medical, it is also mental, rooted in the relationship you hold with your own body's messages. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because when you see glands, hormones, and even pain as interpreters of your inner climate, a transformation takes place in the way you live with yourself. You begin to understand that your biology is not working against you, but responding with loyalty to the tone you sustain. This mindset shift alters everything. Instead of battling the body, you learn to collaborate with it, issuing instructions that create coherence rather than conflict. The impact is profound, not only in health, but in the freedom of realizing that you are not at the mercy of hidden forces. You are in an ongoing dialogue with them. If this insight resonates with you, write in the comments, "I am safe within." By doing so, you affirm not only understanding, but also the decision to create an inner climate of peace, one where your body no longer fights imaginary wars, but learns to rest, recover, and rebuild under your guidance. Forgiveness is not only an act of the mind, it is a language the body understands. Resentment lingers like heat beneath the skin, fueling inflammation and keeping wounds, both physical and emotional, alive long after the original event has passed. Grant Silva discovered this when his nightly ritual shifted from replaying grievances to placing a hand on his stomach and whispering, "I let go." Peace replaces the burn. At first, the words felt fragile, as though they could not possibly change years of tension, yet the body obeyed. Tissue that had remained defensive began to soften. The fire cooled, and healing, once blocked, started to flow. This is the hidden truth of release. When you unburden the heart, the body follows. It is in moments like these that the impact of language becomes undeniable. What you repeat is not an abstract idea, it is a chemical order, a script etched into every cell. That is why a structured practice can bring profound transformation. A 30-day cellular communication protocol, simple in design yet powerful in effect, renews tone and mood in ways no external tool alone could achieve. 3 times a day, you pause to bless your cells, to visualize them as a bright interconnected network, radiant and alive. You speak truthful, loving images into them, not hollow phrases, but words that carry conviction. And the body listens. Your inner community, trillions of cells working in silent cooperation, begins to align with the new instructions you provide. Behind the scenes, this practice re-educates your biology. It teaches the immune system to calm, the nervous system to balance, and the tissues to respond as if they were bathed in trust instead of fear. It becomes a journey of reconciliation, a revelation that you are not separate from your body, but the narrator of its story. Each phrase you choose to live by, each image you project, becomes a decision that shifts your inner climate. It is not about perfection or forcing change. It is about continuity, about building a dialogue that your body learns to rely on as steady and safe. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because when you recognize that your cells are not silent but attentive, you begin to realize the weight of your role as their communicator. This is not imagination. It is physiology shaped by mindset, and the impact is immense. Mood stabilizes, tone returns, and health begins to mirror the consistency of the script you have chosen. What once felt like chance or luck reveals itself as the consequence of the dialogue you sustain. If this resonates with you, write in the comments, "My cells are listening." By putting it into words, you anchor the awareness that your body is not distant, but responsive, waiting each day for the story you decide to tell it. If you've stayed with me all the way to this point, you already know how powerful these ideas can be when we begin to apply them with sincerity. That's exactly why I invite you to subscribe, so you don't miss the kind of content that keeps deepening this journey and bringing tools you can actually use in your daily life. And since you made it to the very end, let me know in the comments by writing, "I'm with you until the end." It's a simple way of showing that you're part of this path, and I'll know you're walking alongside me in this exploration. If what you've heard today stirred something inside you, give this video a like. It's a small gesture, but it strengthens the connection we've built throughout this conversation. And before you go, there's a video right here that complements this topic. Click and continue with me over there. You'll see how naturally it flows into the next step of this journey.